Hi, it's Michael Orozco, center back for the Orange County Soccer Club and former member of the U.S. men's national team. Please subscribe to my boy Juan Roda's YouTube channel.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Rodas. Today we have defender for Orange County, Michael Orozco Fiscal. Michael, how are you today, if I'm not wrong, in Orange County?
Yes, no, I'm doing great. I'm trying to stay as safe as I can with my family. We're going through a difficult time, but we all stay together. Everything's possible.
Of course. And to start off, Michael, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day doing this from a YouTube channel. And if you could talk to us about, your upbringing in Orange County, I'm pretty sure a different upbringing than most kids are used to as of right now.
Yeah, so just growing up in Orange County was very difficult to actually find a team. And it's been 17 years that I left to Mexico to actually succeed in my career.
Yeah.
Coming back into Orange County and seeing that there's a professional team in your back door.
Yeah.
And to try to get your career kicked off, it's great, and to be a part of it, I mean, I can't ask for more, to be honest. Like, I'm very happy with what the organization has done with all the youth, and bringing back home and being a mentor, being a motivation to everyone that they can not do the same as me, but do more. I'm happy with that. And if they can take one word and make a difference, then I'll be extremely happy.
Most definitely. And obviously, in your youth, did you only play soccer, or were there other sports that you were involved with? Because like a typical American usually plays baseball, basketball, but in your case, was soccer the only sport or no?
So at one point, I did play a bit of basketball. I did a little bit of boxing, but it was never in my heart, in my blood, as soccer. So I obviously had to pick and choose what it was going to be and what I was going to be a bit more successful. Like every kid, they have a dream, and my dream was to become a professional soccer player. So I actually pursued that a bit more. I was a bit more aggressive on it. My dad was my coach my whole life.
Yeah.
And I got to thank him a lot for everything that he taught me. So that being said, soccer was in me. I mean, I sleep with everything within soccer. And my dad was like my biggest role model in this. He pushed me to the limit, and that's why I'm 34, going to be 35, and I'm still playing, and I still feel like if I'm 18 years old.
Wow. That's good. And obviously, in your youth, were you the typical kid to have a lot of energy and get in trouble, or were you like the most like the kid to be like calm and not getting really in much trouble?
No, I would be in trouble all the time by my mom. breaking just TVs, windows, soccer. You know how it is. Sometimes it's raining and you want to go outside and play. Your mom says no, and you go in there and you just cause a chaos in your home. But I was always up and going, just soccer, riding, everything that I can get on. I mean, I think those were the best years of my life. Just that youth, obviously, until like about 10, because after that it was like a full-time job for me ever since. Training every day, working hard. Nowadays I have 3 kids of my own, and I see my kids and I'm like, hey, let's go ride bikes, hey, let's do this. They're like, oh, dad, my iPad, hey, dad, whatever else, TikTok, they want to do things like that. I'm like, oh man, back in the days I didn't have this, man. It was all hands-on things.
Exactly, yeah, of course. And then, is there something that you miss specifically from your youth, or no?
I think at one point it was family, because I was away for so long.
Yeah.
And my youngest sister, she's 27 years old, and I lost her whole youth. So we were always very close, barbecuing every weekend. And it took about 17 years, 18 years that I left to Mexico. But ever since when I was younger, like 14, 13, I was always traveling, playing national team, things like that. So I was never home, so I just lost all of that. I can't get it back. So now what happens is that we go back to our family roots, which is every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, barbecuing, and that's something that we enjoy. We're not young anymore, so but that's the best thing about it. I did miss it for 17, 20 years.
Yeah.
Now I have it. So yeah, that can be it.
Of course. And then obviously, when you have free time, Michael, what do you usually do? Because like you said, you have 3 kids, you're still a professional soccer player, but what are you usually doing in your free time?
Training my kids.
Okay.
So I have a 3-year-old that, he's training, and he loves soccer. I don't push him. He's still young. my 9 and 10-year-old, they enjoy soccer. So if we can go out of the pitch here and there, then we do. But soccer is my life. So I watch games. I try to study the game, try to learn every day. So there's not one day I don't learn about soccer and try to better myself on and outside the pitch. So yeah, that's what I enjoy. I mean, at one point, yes, when I was like 18, it was PlayStation, things like that. But once you have kids, you have no time for that. So it's either playing with your kids or, on the pitch with them and enjoying the sport.
Of course. And then obviously as a soccer player, you've had a long soccer career in Mexico and obviously here in the United States. And then in most cases, us the fans just watch you guys for 90 minutes, but we don't know what goes behind the scenes, when there might be a possibility when you feel lonely or things like that. But what has been the toughest moment in your career, because it's not always glory, money, women, and cars, but what's the toughest moment in your career?
No, I think when I first left to Mexico, I had to leave everything behind. Like I said, it was from like leaving my sisters, my whole family. At that time, it was my girlfriend. Now she's my wife. To try to just be successful. Leaving everything behind, just to get paid $180 a month, my first contract.
Wow.
And we're talking about 2003. That's when I signed my first contract. A lot of people don't know this, but it was Necaxa. Necaxa was my first team in Mexico. But, making that money in a different country, yes, obviously I'm Mexican, but it's not the same as living in the U.S., man. Yeah. To be honest, living in the U.S., being a part of this country, the culture, you have everything. Yeah. If you want to be successful, you can in any business aspect. Yeah. For me, it was going south of the border to try to fulfill my dreams. And it did work out, but it was very stressful. There was times that I had to wake up at 5 a.m, take the bus, go to practice, hitchhike to go back home. And it was like a 2-hour, bus drive or, hitchhike and get on 3-4 cars. And it was very dangerous at the time. Yeah. Living in a little shack practically. Yeah. But it all worked. A lot of people don't know what I went through. Like I said, I don't have social media. I have anything like that, but there's a lot to it. But I think soccer gave me a lot. So it all paid off. So like I always say, hard work does pay off, believe, have hope. And that's exactly what I stick with. I wasn't going to come back and work at McDonald's. Working at McDonald's there's nothing wrong with it because it is a job and it pays bills. Yeah. But I felt like that was like, kicking a butt. I had to become something within soccer, something that I love.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And there's obviously a saying in Spanish, todo esfuerzo tiene su recompensa. And from you just saying that you lived in a shack and look at you now, you played a lot of games with the U.S. and I saw the house you built in if I'm not wrong, in Tijuana. Huge house, man.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Michael, if you could talk to us about, something us, the fans, don't know about you, because obviously we know you as a professional soccer athlete, but is there something apart from you being a professional soccer player that us, the fans, don't know about you?
I mean, a lot of people said like, oh, saying that you're humble, it could be bad. But for me, I'm the same person ever since I left. Never changed one bit. I always came to where I grew up in. Yeah. Never was embarrassed of where I'm from. I actually bought our house about a year ago, exactly where I grew up. I mean, I have nowhere to be, but this is home. Yeah. So could I have gone elsewhere? Yes, but this is home. So I'm humble. I can say hi to everybody. I can talk to everybody. I don't know anything to anyone. Yeah. I'm just the same kid that, kind of grew up and just worked hard, grind, family person. If you come to me anywhere, take a picture, say hi, talk, I'm all about that. I have, I've never been the type of player that's like, I can't take a picture now, look how I'm dressed, or I can, I'm with my family. No, I always said, okay, just respect the family. We'll take a picture, no problem. But, things like that. But I'm always like just a giving person, That's why, for example, now I have my whole academy, trying to build off of that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, since we started, I want more people to be better than me. Mm-hmm. Okay, and accomplish their career. And if I can be a help and one advice can help you kick off your career in anything, it has nothing to do with soccer, just in any way, then I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm. Of course, and that's great to see, because obviously a lot of professional soccer athletes that see us fans typically sometimes don't want to even take like 2 seconds of the day to take a picture, even an autograph. I'm glad to see that you want to better. I'm guessing your community, and obviously these kids that possibly might be going through struggles, but from their academy and with you, they might be able to to become a better person and possibly an athlete. So I'm glad to see that. And then obviously, Michael, you played in the MLS. Right now, you're in the USL, and you played in Mexico. But this, I want to ask this question. In your opinion, which league is better, La Liga de la MLS or La Liga MX? Which one? Because you played in both, you know.
Yeah, so I think they both have their good and bad. Overall, MLS has grown a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's very competitive now. But Mexico has a history. Mexico has always brought in good players from every line, goalies all the way to forwards, great coaches that are well known. And you compete every weekend. You never know who, one season you can be champion, and next year you can play for regulation battle, That's just how competitive the league is, and you have, great players all the time, known icons within the sport.
Yeah.
So I would have to say Liga MX for sure is a lot better. I do believe MLS has come a long way ever since I played in 2010.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think Liga MX is can be one of the top.
Most definitely. And do you see the biggest difference between both leagues or no?
Well, there's the MLS can be a bit more like European, just the pace or being a bit more aggressive. Mexico is more South American, that technique, the tempo. You can slow it down, pick it up, and you have things like that. And then you play from altitude to like sea level, so you have a lot of things playing against you and competing every weekend. There is a big difference, and that's why I think it's one of the toughest leagues, and that big difference, because nobody can go and play in Mexico City, things like that, where it's aggressive, Toluca, for example, So, that there is a big difference, I think the style of it, nice, good quality soccer would be in Mexico.
Most definitely. And obviously, you mentioned to us that they left at a young age to Mexico, and you signed with Necaxa. But how old were you? Were you scared to fail? Were you scared? Because at a young age, especially going to Mexico and not knowing really what's going to happen, but you obviously succeeded. But if you could talk to us more about that, like, were you scared? And like, around what age were you?
Yeah, I was 17.
Wow.
Right after high school, so 18, signed my first contract. It was hard.
Yeah.
And was I, afraid of failure? Yeah, of course, man. I mean, you're in a different country. I never lived in Mexico. I would go and visit families.
Yeah.
But it's not like when you're trying to pursue your career where they either steal your boots, you fight, they make life difficult because everybody wants that starting spot, and they're not going to be like, oh, this gringo, the Mexican American, like, he's not going to come and take over this. Everybody wants to eat, everybody wants to be successful, and it's not easy. It's not given to you. So that drive every day, can I call my parents when I feel lonely? And I couldn't, because I wasn't making money.
Wow.
I couldn't see them. It took me 3-4 months to actually see my parents, and it was for like 2-3 days because they had to come back from work. But it's like, if I want to become someone, I got to go through this.
Yeah.
If this is what it's going to take to become someone in life, then I have to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go home and fail, then I should have never came to Mexico and try this adventure. To me, it was like, I want to become someone. I don't know. I'm not the best player. I never considered myself the best player. I just work hard every day, and nothing was ever going to be given to me, or I was never going to release anything for anybody else to take. If they brought another right back, center back, left back, I was going to, train 2-3 times more than what they were, because I needed to play. I have a family that I had to take care of.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing on the back of my head, my heart, that I wanted to become someone, then I had to work hard. And that's why I told you earlier too, that hard work pays off. Believe and hope was always with me. And like I said, I come back home and people are like, yeah, I was better than you. Yes, I know you were probably better than me, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
I've been playing for so long. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're friends, and, we know each other, but I made it,
Exactly.
So those are the things, those are the I grabbed it and I didn't let go. And to this day, I want to be 35 and I still want to play at 3-4 more years, 5 years, till my body just gives up, because it's the best thing, man. Once you get a feel of it, like the locker room, the fans, playing for something, like it's the best thing, and I went through hell, man, to be honest, to get where I'm at now, so there's still more out there for myself.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously you mentioned that you possibly might have had any of your boots stolen and maybe fights. Were you involved in these things? Like, if you could talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. So when I first got there, they broke into my locker room. I actually got kicked out of the dorms, and I had to leave. My first breakfast, they had milkshakes. They had chocolate milk, and I had my bowl of cereal. They're like, "Oh yeah, get that one." I didn't even know. Yeah. They all looked the same, right? Yeah. So I grabbed the milkshake. They were playing like a prank on me. They treated me like, bad. Being spit on, like a whole bunch of things, man. Yeah. So but it just got me more
motivated.
More motivated, to be honest. Throw my boots everywhere, stealing my stuff, my money, all sorts of stuff. And whenever you had, for example, if you had a ride, and sometimes they will leave you just because they're being punks about it. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna start with not. Well, let's leave him behind."
Wow.
So there you go, trying to find your way back home, or see what you're gonna eat. A whole bunch of things, man. You're the ugly duckling. You're coming. They think that because you live in the U.S., you have money, and it's not even like that. You're just trying to become someone.
Exactly, most definitely. And obviously, as a young kid, was there someone that you looked up to, maybe in the sports world, or maybe a family member that you looked up to?
Yeah. So, for example, my dad's my hero. Mm-hmm. My parents, you can say my mom and my dad, but my idol has been Jorge Campos, and I met him a couple of times. I talked to him. I have his number, so we became good friends, and even me playing at the highest, meeting him, talking to him, like, hey, I had to tell him, like, hey, like, I look up to you, man. Like, you were like that person that I wanted to play soccer because I wanted to be like you. Because he was a goalie, those colorful jerseys, and then being a forward, making a big difference, making a statement for himself. So I liked all of that. Yeah. I'm not even a goalkeeper myself. I did, when I was growing up, try to play that position because of him. Yeah. I was never good. But he's that one player that I can say, motivated me every day, to, probably play for the national team, play soccer, the sport. Obviously, nowadays you have other players. I obviously have like Ronaldo, the one that, all those guys, yeah. But Jorge Campos was like the main one.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously, as playing right back and even center back at times, and playing in Mexico and playing here in the States, who has been the biggest trash talker that you face? Because I'm guessing there's probably a lot of forwards that talked a lot of smack on the pitch, to get you out of your game. But was there a biggest trash talker that you've encountered?
Well, like Cuauhtémoc Blanco, you had El Toro Bozo, you had I'm like Cabañas, But Cuau was funny, man. Cuau was funny. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he was my teammate in Puebla, and then we would always talk about it like, it's like, oh, that's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. Try to get him out, and then, at the end of the day, we celebrated that season with the championship together. But those guys were just, heavy duty, man. When it was time to like talk all the shit they could, get that difference out, and like that a lot more, man.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Even teammates, man. I even had teammates that would talk shit on you just so they can get like that energy, that being aggressive. Because I was a defender, and I had a coach that was like, you don't get a red card like every 2-3 games, and it's not working for me, because you got all these other quality players. Like, you got to be out there and stand out, I was like, wait a minute, I want to play games,
Yeah.
So,
of course.
But they're always in the back of your head, just talking, So, but Gual was a good one.
Yeah. You don't remember anything specific that they would tell you, like to get you out of your
they say that if you wanted to become famous, go close to them because you're nobody, things like that. Like, oh, come over here because you're never gonna get the ball. So if you come close to me, you can probably take it away, make a difference. But you're not gonna see the ball because either I'm gonna score, I'm gonna give an assist. Just things like that.
Wow.
And a whole bunch of other stuff. But you can't. Nowadays it's considered Back in the days, I mean, it was part of the game.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, they're like even from when I've played, there's always that lazy teammate. But has there ever been like a laziest teammate throughout your any clubs that's always lazy in training, but when it comes to game day, like he's well prepared and he wants to play, or there's never been?
Oh man, yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say lazy.
Yeah.
But there was like agreements, for example, like okay, practice comes or games, like I'll do the hard work, which is defend. I'll just give you the ball and you make that big difference, And I mean, I had like Dairo Moreno, which, obviously in Xolos, he did really good. Iturbe, I had like Loco Abreu, I had like Colo Guerrero, I had like Chacho, for example. He was my coach and my teammate. Yeah, Chacho Codet. Who else? Like, but I said Braulio. I mean, just a bunch of players, man. Like that. Well, for example, you just give him the ball. He was already old, like 42, but he was still playing like really good soccer. Like that, the list goes on, man. But you have those players that you got to respect and you got to do that work, okay, yeah, I'm a bit younger than you, then I'll run, I'll work for you, but then you got to just be a game changer.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. That's how it was. And, I remember, for example, man, he would show up. If he played on Saturday, Sunday off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he was just massage, man. That's all he was doing, talking shit the whole time. And then the good game comes and he, tear up things, man. He goes there for like 20 minutes and he made a big difference,
Of course.
So.
Is there any like a favorite memory that you had with Cuauhtémoc Blanco, maybe on the pitch or in the hotel room or just a fun?
Oh man, this guy would just talk out of his ass all the time. I mean, there was one time that we were a bit pissed. We're in Puebla, and he'd be like, "Oh, you know what, guys? Like, it's unbelievable that we say practice is at 10. You guys got to be here at least an hour before, meaning 11." So we're like, "Wait a minute, what do you mean 11? That's already an hour late.
Yeah.
It has to be 9." He's like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, okay, well, we know it's Cuau. He says shit like that. So, but like that, he was, he was a bit crazy funny, man. He was a goofball.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously when you first got paid well, Michael, do you remember what you first purchased? Like maybe something for your mom, maybe something for your family, or for you? Like do you remember something that you bought?
So for myself, I think it was shoes. Okay. I'm a big fan of shoes. I have a lot of shoes, and then for my mom, I bought her a car.
Wow.
What else? I mean, just clothes itself, because I know it was hard, to actually come across like clothes like every 2-3 months, for school.
Yeah.
It was like one pair of shoes for the whole year, and you had to make it work. Yeah. So now, like, I have a lot of shoes, man. It's not that it's a good thing, no, but I like shoes. I always liked shoes growing up, and I couldn't have them.
Yeah. You worked hard for it,
Yeah, so I got to say for myself, shoes, and my mom, I bought them cars and things like that because we had one car for the whole family, for the whole team. To be honest, we had a little truck, a little Nissan, and had a little camper back in the days, and the whole team would go in there, man, and travel everywhere to San Diego, LA, Lancaster, San Bernardino, and everybody would be in there, and that's how we used to play club soccer. Like the whole team would be riding with us because my dad was the coach. So once I got like a good check, I did that. And I think as a family, it was my sister's sweet 15 or, quinceañera.
Yeah.
I paid that whole off, because my parents were stressing, like, here you guys go, man. Like, yeah, so we made it a bit big on her. But like I said, I missed all those years, but I can say that I enjoyed that one.
Of course. And then you said that you're a big fan of shoes. What kind of shoes do you buy? Like Jordans or if you could explain to us.
Oh, man, Jordans. Yeah, I got Jordans. I have a lot of those, man. I probably have more than like 100 of those Jordans pairs. Yeah, so Jordans. I'm a Nike, so I was sponsored by Nike for forever. So I have a lot of Nike shoes. That's all I wear. Vans. I have a lot of those. Yeah. And then obviously you go a bit more exclusive to like Gucci, Christian, Vuitton, like all of that. So those are for dinner. Although you can't have that right now. You can't take the wife out to dinner because of COVID. But
of course,
I could do that in my backyard when I barbecue.
Exactly. Around how many pairs of shoes do you think you own?
Probably a bit more than like 300 can probably be the number. Because just the Jordan itself, man, like I have a lot.
Yeah.
And just, so it's up there, man. And I probably wear them once or twice, and then I just save them, and then the new one.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously throughout your long career, have you obviously you're still an active player, but have you accomplished all your dreams within the soccer world?
No, I'm gonna say no, because I want to play more games. I want to more championships. I want to leave like a role model, mentor, so people just realize who I was in reality. Because I never had social media, so I know that now it's a big part. People will know who you are like that. And I was always quiet. I was mind my own business. I heard stuff, but I never paid no mind to it, But I want people to understand that I want to give back. I want people to understand what I went through.
Yeah.
It was never easy for me, So that's what I want people to understand. And I think playing till like about 40, that's my goal.
Yeah.
So not until I'm 40 years old and I can say that I accomplished everything. I never thought I was going to represent, for example, the country, the U.S., and I did. I never thought I was going to go to the Olympics, and I did in 2008. Yeah. So, things like that, I don't stop. I always have goals every season. This season I can tell you I want to play every game. I want to score goals. I want a championship, all of that. So I always set myself goals every season to accomplish. I think. Would I want like MLS? Like, yeah, of course I would have wanted another chance at MLS, but it was difficult for the players, right? You can say coming back into the league. So if I ever get a chance, then I have that in the back of my head where it's like I want to go into MLS and I want to show what I was capable of doing, because I had a 2010 contract with the Union, but I was never. A lot of people don't know what happened there, and that's kind of like they're like I want to play in MLS and I want to show that this is something that I wanted.
Yeah, of course. Then obviously, if you could talk to us about what's your favorite food and favorite music for Michael Orozco Fiscal, and the most embarrassing song on your phone if you have one.
So the most embarrassing song, I think it would be like all those TikTok songs that my daughter puts on my phone.
Yeah.
And now I can't even listen to like rap on the which are like my favorite, so I got to listen to TikTok. So I think the embarrassing thing about that is that I'm over here dancing with my daughters, as we're driving places or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, that would be the embarrassing, and the music that I like is banda, corridos, rap music, funk, I like that, old school, music. And favorite food, I would say enchiladas, man. Like that's one of my favorite food.
Yeah.
Enchiladas.
Yeah, most definitely.
So.
And then obviously you've represented the United States at the highest level. You played as a center back and even right back as well. But in your opinion, Michael, who do you think has been the best center back in U.S. history? Talking about the men's national team.
Center back?
Yeah, best center back.
Oh man, I think Carlos Bocanegra, man.
Bocanegra, yeah.
Best American player that played in Europe. Is that what you're saying?
Or
yes,
or like best center back that played for the main national team.
Oh, so like Sergio Ramos, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Things like that.
But for the United States.
So it would be Carlos Bocanegra, man.
Yeah.
Carlos Bocanegra was just a leader. I got to play with him.
Yeah.
A leader, good center back. So he was one of the guys that I can say accomplished their rating, what their name is built, something that I kind of want,
Yeah.
I think Carlos Bocanegra overall beats everybody else on there. Yeah.
Most definitely. And then if you could talk to us about, signing with San Luis, how did you feel, after Necaxa, how was it experience playing for San Luis and signing as well?
Man, to be honest, like going to San Luis, it was hard, man. Like I was in a limbo where, what am I going to do? Like Necaxa promised me all the time that I was going to sign with the first team. I was always on the second team, training with the first team, traveling with the first team, doing all sorts of stuff, coming out on the bench. But it was never like, boom, you're on the first team. Necaxa called me, with Raul Arias, Americos Catalados. The first guy that took me to Necaxa, they were in San Luis already. They called me like, hey, Mike, do you want to get a shot? I was like, okay, perfect. what do I need? They're like, oh, we need you to be here tomorrow. I'm like, oh man, right? Like tomorrow? And I'm not making money, right? So they're like, yeah. So my parents, bought my ticket, and I only had $200, man. That's all I had to go to Mexico. $200. I was scared. We were gonna go do preseason in Argentina, so those $200 went down the drain on some shoes, some dress shoes, man.
Yeah.
So, man, it was crazy. It was tough. But then as the money started coming in, the fans loved me. I mean, my first game wasn't the ideal one. I went in and I played 3 minutes, got a red card.
Yeah.
But that was it was a learning process, because I did a whole preseason in Argentina. We played against top players. I remember playing against La Broquita Verón.
Wow.
So I played against Chacho that preseason until they actually brought him. He was my rival then.
Mm-hmm.
So San Luis playing the regulation battle was pressure already since day one.
Mm-hmm.
So my career hasn't been where it's been like easy. It's like you're playing regulation. You know how much that franchise is worth. You know what's going to happen. Like if we don't stay in first division, we're not going to get paid. We're not going to. So yes, I was scared, but it was a challenge. And I think I did accomplish that. And every team that I actually played for was always playing for regulation battles. I don't know if that's why they gave me a contract, but it worked out good because I never regulated with anybody. Yeah. And I was always a very big piece to every single team that I played on.
Most definitely. What does San Luis mean to you?
My daughter was born there.
Oh, wow.
So I have one of my daughters born in San Luis. I wanted that, and at one point it was home, but it has a lot of feelings. Like my daughter wants to go back to San Luis. She wants to visit where she was born. Yeah. So it's in the back of our heads, our heart, a little piece to it, Yeah. So the best start, to my career, because I was there for about 5-6 years, mm-hmm. and it was the best ever. All the fans owed me. It was great,
Yeah, of course. And obviously, eventually, you get loaned to the MLS, specifically to the Philadelphia Union. Did you want to come to the MLS that early? Because obviously, like how you said, you were playing with San Luis and everything. But how was the experience coming to Philadelphia? You mentioned a lot of people didn't know what happened in Philadelphia, but if you would like to talk about what happened, you can. How was that experience coming to playing MLS?
So it was Peter Novak was a coach. Bob Bradley was coach for the national team. I was in that limbo. I was in that squad. He took me to the Olympics. He called me like, "Hey, Mike, you know what? We're interested in you. You want to come out?" And I said, "Perfect. You know what? I'm going to have our first child. Yeah. Of course, I want my daughter to be born in the U.S. I want to go back." Mm-hmm. So I made everything work. Our first game was going to be against Ahmed in San Luis, and I told him, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to go. I want to go to Philly, so you guys need to make everything work out. Wow. This is where I want to be at. I want to, have a big turnaround in my career. I feel like I'm starting a family. I need that, security, all sorts of things, right?" So it worked out. I left. I was happy. Once I found out I wasn't going to be taken back into to the Union, this was already like November, December. We were already talking about it. They're like, "Yes, we're going to take you back in." I said, "I need you to be honest because I have to go back to San Luis." Yeah. They said yes. And then they said, "Hey, listen, your buyout we'll figure something out. Just come out." So I show up. I was like, "Hey, I need to know because my family's here, my daughter and my wife. Mm-hmm. So I need to know what's really going to happen. Go on, get your house." I'm like, "Okay, I need to know because it's a big expense, right?" So yeah, I bought the house. I bought the furniture. It was all furnished. My wife had to come back. I didn't have a contract. And they were just going around and round and round and round. And at the end of the day, I think it came out that I didn't want to sign, that I wasn't in their plans. But I was making, say, $2 and they wanted to give me 25 cents. And that wasn't even, like, you're never going to sign something like that. And nothing was ever on the table. They never, everything was word of mouth, and it wasn't like that. I always asked for a contract, tried to do things the right way. So this day, it made it so difficult that I couldn't go back into MLS. Wow. I would have wished for me to be in the MLS because I know how much it has grown, and I believed in the league, right? But a lot of people, like I said, there's more to it. But I got to, eat it up and just always work like I always did. And and I did. I went back to Mexico, so I stayed 3 months without playing because Philly didn't want to sign me. Then I had to go back to Mexico. I had to renegotiate my contract. They gave me, shit money again and just grind. That's what it was all about, and I did that, But I think I didn't get paid on the right way, man. They did me wrong there.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Philly, the union, nothing like that. I think it was other people, and at the end of the day, they got what they deserved. I mean, they're not there. Those people.
Exactly. But even apart from the little negative part, Michael, did you enjoy coming back to play in the MLS? Like how was that experience?
It was great, man. Like just different league. You had to travel across the country. My parents could actually watch my game out to LA. Like all that was great. I wanted to be, make a statement to myself in MLS, but I never had the opportunity. I mean, I played out of 30 games or 31 with even the US Open. I played 29. One, I got a red card or 30 games, so which was good. I was playing right back, center back, left back. I played every position. I enjoyed it. I wanted to give more. They cut my wings too early, I feel. But I enjoyed every bit of it, man. I mean, there's a lot of people. The exposure was great out here, and that's something that I got to say MLS does, because it's a lot of players, and that was in the back of my head. Like if I, come to MLS, prove a point, then I could probably go to Europe, and or whatever it was, But it didn't work out, I just kind of kept working.
Yeah, of course. Then obviously, I'm with Philadelphia. Did you ever play with El Pescadito Ruiz? Because I know El Pescado played for Philadelphia. Did you ever play with him at Union or no?
No, I didn't play with him. He was doing preseason just prior to me leaving. So yeah, we did talk. We hanged out. Because I know when I left, what was it? San Luis, he arrived in Puebla.
Puebla, yeah.
And then we met up in the Union, and like I said, everyone was surprised. So then when we met again, outside of soccer, we kind of talked about it, and he had no idea what was going on, man, and but he's a good guy, man, good guy, good player. I always followed him when he was in Galaxy too, so good goal scorer, man.
Michael, and as we know, you mentioned to us earlier that you have your own academy. But if you could talk to us, like how did that come about? When did you start your academy, and where are you guys located right now?
Yeah, our academy started about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Just trying to give back to the kids, trying to give them an environment around from where I was from. Yes, there's a lot of clubs, academies around here that are known. The good thing about it is that I'm involved. I go to every training session. Try to give back, ideas. Train with them. So you get that one-on-one with the professional soccer player as to before. I didn't have that, so I'm just trying to do as much as I can, and hopefully people understand that you have a role model just around the corner, and you can get as much as an advice and train with them. I think is the best thing with just being involved in my academy or anyone else's. But I think it's mine. I'm involved 110%. I'm always there. Go to their games. We do Zoom calls. We do FaceTime. Nowadays, you have a lot of
options,
sources to connect with all the players, boys and girls. We have both programs. It's not big, to be honest, but we're shooting for that. And like I said, it's not like Blue America or LA Galaxy or anyone like that. It's mine, and I'm involved in it, and I'm always around.
Yeah, of course. And if you could talk to us about, like where are you guys located, what are the hours, and if there are kids that are that want to sign up, how could they sign up for your academy?
Yeah, so we have a page, because we do private sessions as well. It's called Elite Coaching 16. That's the trainings, the coaches that we have. They go out there and coach. It goes from goalkeeper all the way to, midfield defenders, forwards, fitness coach. We do all that.
Yeah.
and our academy is called Worldwide. And then we have another program called EDA. So we have two programs because we have a women's side as well. That we're going into the WPSL for this year coming in. So we're very involved with our community, and it's every day. To be honest, we train every day. We try to get back. Like I said, from Monday through Fridays. From 6 to 8, and we're located in Anaheim and Buena Park, California. So if you're in the area, just send us a text on Instagram. Like I said, it was Elite Coaching 16. So we're here to help, and like I said, you're gonna get full access with myself being involved.
Of course. And if you could talk to us about as well, like who are the coaches? Obviously, we know that you are a part of your own academy, but who are the other coaches that you brought aboard to your academy?
Okay, so one of my goalkeeper coach, he played in like a second division out in Mexico. I had one of my striker coaches. He played in Puebla. Wow. So he was out there for 2 years. And just coaches like that are being involved. I always, I have a lot of contact with like people in Mexico, so I bring them out. Right now it's difficult because of COVID, but in the past they would come out and kind of train our teams. So that being said, just local guys that we grew up together. They had the same hope as I did, becoming a professional soccer player. They for one reason or another. They didn't succeed, but they succeeded in other stuff. So, like I said, we just try to give back, and it's people. It's just family. You can say it's family. We all grew up together. Some of them are young, some of them are older than me, but we all work for the same ambition: is to get someone else out and into a 4-year university or a professional environment. Nothing's guaranteed, but hard work will pay off.
Most definitely. And what age groups do you guys accept? Is it any age group? If you could speak about that.
Any age group, man. My son, he trains. He's only 3 years old, so he's going through hurdles. Taking shots on goal left and right. So we try to develop from a young age. We make it fun. We make it soccer related in terms of what you're going to use on the pitch. If you're going to come out here and do a whole bunch of bicycles, you could. But the basics and a bit more, so you can be strong and ready for a game life situation. Like I said, it's very intense and very good. We actually had a couple games. Some of the girls that we coach, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds that we have, we played against 15-6, so just a little scrimmage, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, and we dominated the girls. The other teams were impressed, so they got a whole coaching staff to actually go train them now, because they do a lot of one touch too. The movement with and without the ball, the positioning was great, so they were impressed with that. And those girls, we just had them for the past 6 months, and it's been difficult because of COVID. But the things that they learn, like I said, I still train, I still play, and I try to get the best from everybody. And I still talk to all the coaches so I can get more details on how to train and how to explain the things.
Most definitely. And have players from your academy already been signed to some universities? Have some players even gone pro from your academy? If you could talk to us about that as well.
Yeah, so we have players from UCLA, Champion University out here. Kids that were very dedicated, obviously, into school. And then obviously some more community college. Then we had about 5 to 6 players go pro from my academy. So from Xolos to Chiapas to Puebla to Lobos. So we had a couple. San Luis, that was one of the first ones that we had signed just before I had left. So like I said, we try to help out. There was another kid that played out here in Orange County. He played for Las Vegas. He's in 1904 right now. So we're very involved, and we try to push them as much as we can. But it's not what I want; it's what they do. So it's my word of encouragement, of knowledge to them, and if one word sticks to them and make a difference, then it has already to a couple players that believe. But they got to believe in themselves, So, it's been great. Like I said, you don't hear about it as much because social media was not a big part of me. So
Yeah.
That being said, hopefully it's a turnaround and things start picking up the right way. We do have about 15, 16 teams, so it's not small. It's big, it's growing.
Yeah.
So we're here just putting in work.
Most definitely. And these players already signed in Mexico, are they part of the first team? Like how's their situation out there, and like how young are they?
So they're all 22, 21. They were signed with the first team, training with the sub-20s. At the end of the day, it's them just working every day.
You still contact with them?
Yeah. So one of the kids played the final in Celaya about a year ago. So, yeah, like I said, they're all working. They're all working hard and trying to fulfill their dream and trying to get to the biggest or highest competitive level they can.
Are these kids all of Mexican descent, or are they of other descent as well?
They're all Mexican American.
Todos mexicanos.
Todos mexicanos.
Of course. And then obviously, if you could talk to us about, because you're a father, you're not only a professional athlete as well, and you have your own academy. You could talk to us like how the hell do you make time? Like even just for yourself, or even time with your family. Because he's a busy man.
Yeah, so my daughters trained. They started to pick up the sport now. Mm-hmm. They always liked it. They were always involved, but they never wanted to interest into it. Yeah. Now it's like 100% now they're training. So now I'm training with them, which is great. So that's the time that I'm out on the pitch. Wow. I'm actually training with them as well and teaching them. I'm a bit tough on them, just because they're my daughter and I want the best. Yeah. But that being said, it's like it's on their own time. So everything's involved soccer. Soccer's my life, like I always said. Mm-hmm. And they're always around there. So, the little time that I have, it can be 30, 45 minutes, an hour. We're family oriented. So weekends come, like I said, barbecues. That's what we do. That's when we have a good time. Monday to Friday, it's soccer, it's business, it's life. So they do train with me 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Go out there and kick the ball. We goof around. Yeah. So yeah, they're around.
Most definitely. And then obviously right now during COVID, like how you said, how are you guys doing these training sessions? Are you guys just doing them through FaceTime or through Zoom? Or are you guys actually training on the pitch, maybe wearing masks and stuff like that? Or
yeah, so at the beginning it was a lot of Zoom calls, meetings, things like that, FaceTime. Mm-hmm. And then as things started to pick up a bit more, we do, so say for example, we have 10 girls, 15 girls, and we split them in twos. So one day they'll train, the next following day they'll train, and then different hours, mask. You got to be scattered, because of distance. Mm-hmm. They get tested all the time in terms of like the temperature. So we try to take, we're always wearing face masks, all the coaches, and we've got a pretty big field where it's all to ourselves, and we just rotate the girls, to actually accomplish what we want as an academy.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And obviously, some families anywhere, tend to not have as much money, as much recursos, to pay for these academies, But in your case, Michael, do you guys charge, or how's the situation for the academy? And if you guys do charge, is there any way that they could possibly get help to possibly join?
Yeah, so we do a lot of fundraisers because obviously it's difficult, especially in this time. We do fundraisers, we do sponsors, we do a whole bunch of stuff, and like I said, I'm very heavily involved. Mm-hmm. So I put my share into it to try to get more people out there. We go looking for sponsors for them. So we help out as much as we can. Once you're a part of me, I give you my hand. You're part of my family. Mm-hmm. We make everything work. There is no in my academy. You work, and there's always hope. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I think. Nobody can tell you no. Like, no, you can't do it. Yeah. No, you're not. If you're good, you're bad. We'll work. Mm-hmm. And I don't have the fund. Okay, we'll figure something out. Yeah. There's always that help. There's always that need, and we're here for that. We're not afraid of it. Yeah. And we try to help out every single one out. Mm-hmm. People can tell us that and be honest with us, and we're here to help you.
Yeah, most definitely. And obviously, you're a professional athlete, and you have a lot of professional athletes that still play, or some are retired. Have you ever given thought of maybe talking to some of these players to maybe coming out to your camps and giving knowledge to the younger kids? Because obviously, like how you said, you're still professional. But have you given thought, maybe Joe Benny or or some close friend of yours to possibly come to your camp and speak to these kids as well?
Yeah. So what I would do, I would always send out messages from all my teammates, to kind of give the kids a boost. It can be from saying hi, keep it good luck this weekend, good luck in this tournament, FaceTime, all sorts of stuff like that we do. Right now, it's difficult, like I said, with the COVID, but once it opens up again, I will bring more players, and that's exactly what I do. It's not that I'm going to stick to one team or one player. No, I try to go around everybody that I know and that I have played with, because, I think that friendship is what counts. It can be someone from America to someone from the Red Bulls, So things like that is what we have done in the past. Like I said, no one else's academy is mine, and we just try to help. We're a very humble academy, family oriented, and we just try to give back.
Most definitely. And then obviously on social media, are you guys just on Instagram, maybe Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat? If you could talk to us about that so other people could reach out to you guys as well.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's Elite Coaching 16, and on Facebook, it would be Worldwide Academy.
Ah, okay.
Worldwide Academy, yeah. So you'll see picture of myself on there, and we're fairly new to this. We did have Facebook in the past, but we kind of stopped on. Mm-hmm. So we're just picking it up now. As of December, we're kind of pushing on that, so things are hopefully opening up for everybody, and we can get more kids out on the pitch and start training and playing, things like that, because we all need it. We all need to be together in this. So this difficult time, we stick together. Be one big family. Doesn't matter who or anybody is.
Most definitely. Possibly opening up a website for your academy.
Yes. So we're working on that now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, 4 or 5 years ago when we first started, we had everything up. We kind of slowed down just because I was in here, and it's difficult to manage things out there in Mexico. You're a bit more restricted on time. Yeah. But since I'm here in the U.S. now, we're deciding to actually proceed and push a little bit more hard. So yes, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get all of our things sorted out with social media. That I'm not I don't have that knowledge, so I'm gonna have people working around it.
Yeah, of course. And then, what are your goals? From this academy. Because you said that you wanted this for kids that to have an opportunity which you didn't have as a little boy. But what are your goals? Or in the end, like in the end for your academy.
So to me, it's like starting a family. Mm-hmm. Okay? Soccer is a family. Anybody that's involved or any sport, I should say, but nothing's guaranteed anywhere. Yeah. But it's the dedication you want to put into it. That within any sport, not just soccer, like I said, if you dedicate yourself to it, you can go to a university and get things paid for with scholarships, things like that. So that's already a big help for yourself and your family. Because sometimes us parents don't have those funds, or any family. I know growing up, that's something my parents wanted to do, and it was difficult, but what was going to happen after that? It's those platforms that I try to give them, my coaching staff and everybody that's involved, university, probably going into a community college and then pushing into university, because it could be great. It can be, you don't want to go for anything. And then obviously, if you still want to pursue that soccer career, there's always a lot of options. So that help. Like I said, we don't stick to anybody. We stick to the player and all the other people that I have known and the people that are working in it that can get that player or girl to the next level. Like I said, nothing's guaranteed. It's just working hard and what you want, and there's no line. You're not going to come to me and become a professional soccer player. You're not going to come to me and become, go to a 4-year university. Yeah. But we can give you the fundamentals. So once you get there, you're prepared enough. I feel like my trainings are like what you train out in at a first division level. All those things that I do, probably going into a tournament 2 weeks before, we go hard in terms of like fitness, strength, all that stuff, because you're playing, probably 3, 5, 6 games within a weekend, and you need to be prepared, So we lead on to that, as best as possible. And, we just work hard, and it has been paid off.
Like how we talked about, whoever's interested in joining the academy for Michael Orozco, you guys know now how to get in touch with them through Instagram or through Facebook, or DMing them on social media. It will be a great opportunity for any of the young kids that possibly don't have an opportunity, that now do have an opportunity in joining this wonderful program that Michael Orozco Fiscal created, not only for him but for the younger generation in the Los Angeles area. So don't be scared to reach out to him, because he's a good, humble man, and I wish you the best of luck, Michael, and hopefully you can change these kids' lives for the better, not only with soccer but as a human being as well.
I will thank you so much, and don't be afraid to send us a text or DM on social media. We're here to help, and remember, you have a friend here. Michael Orozco is your friend. Doesn't matter if we haven't met, we will soon.
Obviamente sabemos que eres un defensa, has jugado de lateral derecho, de izquierdo, y has jugado de defensa central, y de los muchos delanteros que has jugado en contra, muy grandes delanteros, ¿quién ha sido el delantero más difícil que te has enfrentado?
Difícil, creo que Torboso, Oribe Peralta, Vicente Sánchez cuando estaba en Toluca, una vez agarró el balón en Toluca, San Luis Toluca, agarró el balón en media cancha y me tiró como 30 recortes, 50 bicicletas, yo nomás estaba girando izquierda, derecha, quedé mareado, me dolía la cabeza, la altura, todo me pesó, pero sí él, agradecer que sí, el médico me rompió todas las caderas.
Cabal. ¿Y nunca pudiste hablar con él después de los partidos? ¿Nunca se intercambiaron playeras? ¿O?
Sí, tengo su playera. Incluso creo que ese partido se la pedí, ¿no? Dije, ya después de toda la corretita que me pusiste, se la pedí, sí, me la dio. Ajá. Después lo vi con Phil.Union y Colorado que él jugó. Sí. Ahí estuvimos juntos, platicando y recordando de todo, ¿no? Cuando él estaba en México. Sí. Pero sí, ahí.
Por supuesto. Y obviamente tuviste 2 etapas con el Puebla. Si nos puedes contar cómo fue esa experiencia jugando con la franja, y posiblemente el Chelis fue tu entrenador, ¿o no?
Sí, el Chelis fue mi entrenador, un personaje, la verdad, un personaje. No, la verdad que Puebla, tengo muchos recuerdos muy bonitos. Creo que la afición me recuerda por ser un defensa que era muy agresivo, que defendía los colores a muerte. Creo que eso es lo que yo tengo, ¿no? Que cualquier playera que yo me ponga, cualquier equipo, lo va a hacer con todo honor, con mucho sacrificio. Y más que jugábamos descenso cada torneo, ¿no? Jugamos descenso y es muy difícil, pero en estos descensos jugamos 2 finales, si no me equivoco, 2 o 3 finales con el Puebla. 2 perdimos y luego una que tuvimos que ganar, ¿no? Creo que era la segunda, la tercera, la vencida, ¿no? Sí. Y la ganamos, celebramos. Entonces la afición me recuerda muchísimo allí. Yo tengo mucho cariño a Puebla, la franja. La verdad que incluso dejamos patrimonio allá en Puebla, ¿no? Porque nosotros queríamos radicar allá. Entonces, sí, no, yo la verdad, un saludo a toda la gente de Puebla, los extraño, es mi segunda casa, ¿no?
Por supuesto. ¿Alguna anécdota que tienes con el Chelis? Porque sabemos que el Chelis, como lo dijiste, es un gran personaje y exige bastante de sus jugadores, pero ¿alguna anécdota que tenés con Chelis o no?
Sí, mira, cuando jugamos contra Santos y Toluca, incluso me tocó jugar de contención. Uno era en la final y la otra era de partido normal, ¿no? De liga. Sí. Y nos puso máscaras de perros, ¿no? Entonces, él, para comenzar, siempre ponía su bocina, la música, y para que estés un poco relajado, ¿no? Pero ese entrenamiento nos pone máscaras de perros. Entonces dice, ¿por qué? Porque es como el perro que cuida su casa, ¿no? Nadie puede entrar a robarte, entonces tienes que ser un perro que cuida la casa, un perro que cuida lo que es de él, ¿no? Su hogar, la familia y todo. Entonces eso es lo que nosotros tenemos que hacer con esta playera, con este escudo, defender los colores. Tenemos que ser perros, tenemos que ser agresivos. Ahí estamos, ¿verdad? Ahí uno es con la máscara jugando rondos y correr, pelear y los quiero escuchar ladrar o cosas así, todos riéndonos, sí, es una broma, pero el propósito era de defender todos como unidos, ser un equipo, pero sí, imagínate todos ahí con máscara de perros, ahí corriendo por la cancha.
¡Qué locura, va! ¡Qué locura!
Oh, man, sí, ese Chelis.
Por supuesto. Y también si nos puedes contar cómo fue ganar ese trofeo con el Puebla.
Man, fíjate que fue lo mejor, ¿no? Yo lo quería, siempre te digo, yo me entrego, puedo tener un mal partido, pero el sacrificio siempre va a estar.
Sí.
Y ya de jugar 2 finales, o una no recuerdo muy bien, y no poder conseguir eso con el Puebla, toda la afición apoyante, la afición de Puebla muy bonita, siempre están en los partidos,
Sí.
Jugar contra Chivas, ¿no? La final, man, like, es algo bonito, ¿no? Jugar en tu casa,
Sí.
no en el estadio, fue en el estadio de Lobos WAP, porque el Cuauhtémoc lo estaban arreglando, pero tú estás en Puebla, entonces nosotros jugábamos a morir, es lo único que nosotros aspiramos, ¿no? Porque una era jugar el descenso y lo próximo era el campeonato.
Sí.
Entonces fuimos por todo, ¿verdad? Y metimos, corrimos, ya se nos venía encima Chivas, puse el pase para el primer gol, mi familia estaba, mi esposa, mi suegra, su abuelita de mi esposa, mis amigos, like, todos, la verdad fue algo muy bonito celebrar con ellos, ¿qué te puedo decir? Celebrar con una afición que siempre te respalda es lo más lindo, ¿no?
Sí.
No importa si sea Liga, Copa, y aparte Puebla tenía ya muchísimos años sin salir campeón, entonces fue algo grande, ¿no? La verdad, y en eso es lo que yo me quedo. Entonces la afición, después de ahí, no podíamos salir al super nada porque estás jugando un descenso. Después fue la final y durante esa semana ya podía salir a comer y eso, porque ya la afición ya te recibía diferente. Te mete en presión porque no ganas en la liga y 2, pues la final la ganas y todo cambia, ¿no? Lo que es lo bonito del fútbol, ¿no? Y esa afición que es tan apasionada, ¿no?
Totalmente de acuerdo. Y obviamente jugaste con la selección de Estados Unidos y ahorita juegas con Orange County y obviamente con diferentes equipos. ¿Pero quién ha sido tu mejor compañero en selección de Estados Unidos y tu mejor compañero en tu club?
Creo que la selección, por ahí, Clint Dempsey,
Wow.
una persona que también viene de un lugar muy difícil, ¿no?
Sí.
Que nada fue dado hacia él siempre sacrificó todo, y muy buena persona, siempre estuvo alrededor de hispanos,
Sí.
y él está muy agradecido con eso. Entonces sí, él, obviamente, pues todos los mexicoamericanos, ¿no? Lo que pudo ser Homie Castillo, Gringo Torres, Ventura,
Sí.
Williams, siempre, pues ahora sí que siempre estamos juntos, ¿no? Y por ahí me faltan otros, ¿no? Joe Corona, Paul.
Sí.
Pero Clint Dempsey es una persona que sí, te digo, él tiene esa sangre latina y eso que no tiene nada latino, ¿no?
Sí.
Él sabe de lo que es difícil, ¿no? Y en mis clubs, no sé, creo que yo tuve un mentor cuando yo iniciaba, que fue Adrián García Arias, me ayudó mucho, fue central, ¿no? Jugó en Santos, América, Toluca, San Luis Jaguares, fue un muy buen mentor. Tuve a Chacho Codet, que me ayudó mucho, Braluna, Octavio Valdés, gente que en su momento me pisoteó, pero me alentó a ser un mejor jugador, ¿no? Siempre me daban tips, entonces, y creo que eso me ayudó a mí para ser autocrítico en el sentido de que no echarme mentiras, ¿no? Y hasta el día de hoy creo que no me echo mentiras a sí mismo. Siempre trabajo, siempre, digo, eso nunca lo vas a dejar de ver de mí. Siempre voy a dar todo y esta gente siempre me apoyó en eso, ¿no? Y también, por ejemplo, en su momento en Necaxa tuve a Víctor Ruiz, otra persona que me ayudó mucho.
Sí.
Y pues yo, digo, el Chango Moreno, estas gentes me apoyó, me ayudó, entonces yo siempre tengo comunicación con estas personas, entonces sí, son mis grandes amigos, ¿no?
Por supuesto, y obviamente en tu etapa con Xolos, donde fue dirigido por el Piojo Herrera, otro personaje también, si nos puedes contar cómo fue esa experiencia de jugar con Xolos cerca de tu familia, y también te quería preguntar, porque siempre los partidos que veo de Xolos, todos los jugadores tienen los zapatos rojos. ¿Es necesario que todos los jugadores jueguen así con los zapatos rojos o no?
Está en tu contrato.
Por eso,
está en tu contrato. Sí. Entonces, nunca vas a ver un jugador que tiene zapatos negros ni nada, porque imagínate lo que pueda pasar.
Sí.
Está en tu contrato, entonces sí, tienes que respetar, ¿no?, lo que es el club y a lo que te estás metiendo. Sí, a veces los zapatos están muy bonitos, ¿no?, de colores, que amarillos, que rosados y X, ¿no? Pero allí rojos es el color, ¿no? Y no, creo que el Piojo es un maestro, creo que es una persona que sabe de el fútbol, lo hace alegre, te hace que lo disfrutes un poco más, ¿no? Tácticamente, técnicamente, te ayuda en todos los sentidos. Es una persona que te motiva, ¿no?
Sí.
Y sí, la verdad, muy loco, ¿no? Es muy apasionado en los entrenamientos. Quiere ganar, en tiro a gol quiere ganar, en el fútbol, tenis, hasta se desgarra en los entrenamientos porque él quiere ganar todo, ¿no? Si él juega contra sus hijas o la persona que sea, las mismas personas que va a barrer, que va a meterle duro, porque él no le gusta perder. Entonces, eso me gustó mucho de él, ¿no? Porque es una persona que es muy apasionada del deporte, y lo has visto cómo celebra, ¿no? Se tira, se revuelca y hace demás.
De acuerdo. ¿Alguna anécdota que tienes con el Piojo?
Y fíjate que casi como tal no, sino que nosotros celebrábamos, ¿no?, los cumpleaños, que sacaban el pastel. Entonces yo era uno de esos que me gustaba, pues, hacer también de todo reír, ¿no? Y sacaban el pastel y los embarraba, los tirabas contra el pastel fuerte, los bañaba todo en coca, de todo lo que agarrabas, ¿verdad? Ya llegó mi cumpleaños y me trajo como 2 pasteles, me trajo de todo y me lo tiró en toda la ropa, y él fue uno de los primeritos. Le decía, ándale, cabrón, por todo lo que hace siempre, ahora le toca a usted. Yeah, man, like, so, no más, o sea, creo que es eso, ¿no?
Por supuesto. Y de los muchos tatuajes que tienes, Michael, si nos puedes contar cuántos tienes y si hay alguno que tiene más significado.
Significado, creo que todos, ¿no? Por eso creo que ahora sí que me los pongo. Todos tienen, por ejemplo, el primero que me puse fue el de mi abuela cuando falleció, cuando fue a las Olimpiadas, mi número 16, creo que no lo cambio por nada. Fue el primer número con el que debuté en primera, no en el fútbol. Los nombres de mis hijos, creo que todo, ¿no? Todo. Pero sí, bueno, ahora sí tengo como que sleeves de los dos lados, pecho y la espalda. Entonces, no sé, si los cuento uno por uno, son varios, ¿no? Y sí, creo que todo tiene que ver con mi vida, ¿no? Lo que he pasado.
Por supuesto. Y obviamente sos nacido acá en Estados Unidos y tus papás son mexicanos. ¿Pero te sentís más estadounidense que mexicano o si nos puedes contar?
Fíjate que cuando comenzó mi carrera, yo no me quería ir a México, ¿no? La verdad, porque es difícil ir a un país que sufres de un poco de todo.
Sí.
Y tengo familia, más nunca fue mucha comunicación, ¿no? Pero hoy en día extrañamos mucho México, ¿no? Porque nosotros queríamos vivir en México, nosotros vivimos 17 años, 16 años en México, hicimos todo para vivir en México. Hoy en día regresar acá y con todo lo que ha pasado, lo que para todo el día, ya no se sabe dónde es seguro, si aquí en Estados Unidos o México. Sí. Pero creo que queda muy claro, ¿no? Ya eso es ser egoísta, pensar que yo me quiero vivir en México. Porque tengo hijos y las oportunidades entre de escuelas, académicamente y para el deporte, cualquier otra cosa, Estados Unidos creo que lo sobrepasa a México, ¿no? Entonces creo que ya viéndolo bien, o sea, Estados Unidos es el lugar donde mi familia va a radicar, pero sí se extraña mucho México, si visitamos, vaya que tenemos cosas ahí en lo que es México, entonces tenemos que ir, ¿no? Sí. Se extraña mucho la comida, la gente es muy amable, todo eso, ¿no? Creo que se vive un poco más tranquilo, pero hay mucha pobreza, se puede decir, ¿no? Muchas carencias, entonces eso es lo difícil, ¿no?
Sí, de acuerdo. Y obviamente jugaste para Estados Unidos, Pero nunca hubo oportunidad con México, y si hubo oportunidad con México, ¿por qué escogiste Estados Unidos sobre México?
Mira, sí hubo la oportunidad con Erickson.
Uh-huh.
Tuve un partido Erickson allá en Chiapas, jugamos contra Jaguares San Luis,
Uh-huh.
y él me había hablado que le interesaba, le dije, pero mira, yo ya representé a Estados Unidos. Igual si no me hubiera hablado, porque creo que hubo ese problema con Hugo Sánchez, ¿no? Que se hablaba mexicoamericanos, y él dijo que no, que quería puro mexicano, ¿no? Que estaba bien, porque creo que si se hubiera llegado, y eso fue para las Olimpiadas, si en ese momento a mí me hubieran hablado, lo hubiera tenido que pensar muchísimo, ¿no? Porque yo jugué con las inferiores de Estados Unidos, entonces siempre mi corazón y todo el trabajo fue con Estados Unidos.
Uh-huh.
Y bueno, sí lo hablé, ¿no? Porque tuve esa oportunidad con Erickson, pero te digo, ya estaba hecho, yo hablé con mis papás, me apoyaron al 100%, mi novia, que en ese entonces que es hoy mi esposa,
Uh-huh.
dijimos que no, que la mejor era quedarte con lo que ya había representado en su momento, o sea, no cambiar, porque luego pueden ser cosas malas, ¿no?
Uh-huh.
O no puede como uno quiere, entonces tampoco puedes saltar o correr antes de caminar, entonces
Uh-huh.
dimos ese paso correcto, porque creo que me fue bien.
Por supuesto. Y en el 2008, como lo mencionaste antes, llegaste a jugar esos Juegos Olímpicos, 3 partidos, si no estoy mal, y también fuiste parte de ese 11 de la CONCACAF. Si nos puedes platicar sobre esa linda experiencia, que no muchos jugadores llegan a jugar esas Olimpiadas.
Sí, creo que fíjate que no me ha caído el 20 como tal, ¿no? Lo que significa ser un Olympian.
Uh-huh.
Se representa mucho en Estados Unidos, ¿no? Creo que en cualquier país, ¿no? Ser parte de unos Juegos Olímpicos es como que algo inolvidable, o que no toda la gente lo puede hacer, ¿no?
Uh-huh.
Ese fue el último equipo de Estados Unidos que ha llegado a las Olimpiadas, ¿no? Entonces, hablando
Wow.
de 2008, ya hace muchísimos años, sí. Entonces, fui parte la verdad que estoy muy contento, llevé a mi familia, pudieron experimentar eso también, y jugar, ¿no? Creo que en la selección, caer campeón en la Copa de Oro, todas esas cosas creo que es lo máximo, ¿no? Creo que representar tu país en esos, por ejemplo, en ese momento, los Juegos Olímpicos, estar con tantos, Kobe Bryant, por ejemplo, en paz descanse, toda esa gente, los presidentes, es diferente, ¿no? Creo que es una emoción que hasta hoy en día yo recibo correo, mail, de las Olimpiadas, man. O sea,
Wow.
yo nunca pensé que fuera marcado tanto así. Entonces yo cuando hablo y digo, ¿sabes qué fue las Olimpiadas 2008? Dicen, oh my God, eso no mucha gente lo hace, ¿no?
Sí.
And it's true, es difícil que mucha gente vaya a eso, ¿no? Entonces, contento de ser parte de eso. Siempre que fue con la selección de Estados Unidos, lo hice o lo quise hacer de la mejor manera.
De acuerdo. Y un tal octubre 16 de 2008, me imagino este día que te recordás, jugaron ante Trinidad y Tobago, tu debut con la selección absoluta de Estados Unidos. Me imagino que a una edad muy joven también, lastimosamente perdieron 2-1, pero si nos puedes contar cómo fue ese partido, debutar el himno, ¿estabas nervioso? ¿Cómo fue ese partido?
Sí, fíjate que un poco de nervios, ¿no? Porque estás representando un país entero, no nomás a ti mismo, ¿no? A un país fuera de tu país. Entonces estás hablando estás en Trinidad y Tobago, estás de visita, estás jugando partido que significa mucho, ¿no? Y no puedes perder. Muchos jugadores que eran titulares en un partido o en esa semana anterior tuvieron que regresar a sus clubes. Se me llegó la oportunidad de debutar. Difícil, ¿no? Porque muchas cosas te rodean. Ellos tienen que jugar por los puntos o ese partido que no puedes perder, ¿no?
Sí.
Está lleno y huele de todo el verde, ¿no? Entonces, todo te rodea, toda la gente hablando, todo bailando, todo haciendo de todo tipo de cosas. Te dicen hasta lo que no. Y te digo, representar un país entero es difícil, ¿no? Entonces los nervios, todo, no quería hacer todo bien, quería correr de más, quería saltar de más, o sea, todo. Me fue bien, no en el resultado, sino que esa barrera que tenía, ¿no? De debutar ya con la selección mayor, de que me dieran esa confianza, de poder estar y competir con todos, ¿no?
Sí.
Entonces creo que fue una bonita experiencia. Me hubiera gustado, si puedo regresar el tiempo y debutar de otra manera que fue ganar, te lo juro que sí, ¿no? Porque creo que a nadie le gusta debutar de esa manera. Entonces creo que todos mis debuts han sido un poco raros, ¿no?
Por supuesto. Y también me imagino que recordás este lindo momento cuando le anotaste a México en el Azteca. Hiciste historia, Michael. Si nos puedes contar sobre algo histórico que hiciste en tu carrera que nadie te lo puede quitar.
Sí, creo que, mira, la verdad que también es muy bonito, ¿no? Jugar, estaba mi familia allí, mi niña recién nacida.
Wow.
Todos estaban allí, había como 30 aficionados de Estados Unidos. Entré ese gol. Yo iba a ese campamento, te lo juro, te tenía que hacer algo diferente, ¿no? De decir, ¿sabes qué? Voy ahí, si son 5 minutos, si son 90 minutos, tengo que hacer una diferencia. Tengo que comenzar otra vez de nuevo, ¿no? A estar en la selección, ser nombrado, ser parte de este equipo, estoy capaz de hacerlo, ¿no? Entonces, de anotar ese gol y marcar una historia de ganar, meter el gol, mi familia allí, creo que lo llevo en el corazón, más allá de que no es un San Luis Toluca, como te he contado, es un Estados Unidos, México, ¿no? Con muchísima afición. La afición ya no se escuchó para nada. Silencio total en el Azteca, ¿no? Mucha gente lo tomó a mal porque celebré, porque soy mexicoamericano, pero al final de cuentas estoy representando otra playera y los goles se hicieron para celebrar. El país se hizo con representarlo con toda honradez. Entonces yo lo hice de esa manera, no creo que le falte respeto a nadie, ¿no?
Y si no está mal, fue tu primer gol a nivel de selección mayor también, ¿va?
Sí, creo que sí.
Por supuesto. Y también, obviamente, jugaron ante Guatemala, porque soy guatemalteco, y la pregunta es porque jugaron ante Guatemala en la era de Klinsmann. Guatemala nunca le había ganado a Estados Unidos en partidos eliminatorios. Yo sé que estuviste en este partido, jugaste los 90 minutos, si no está mal, pero si nos puedes explicar cómo estuvo ese ambiente. Me imagino que le sorprendieron el Pescadito Ruiz, ¿va?
Sí, no, fíjate que fue muy difícil jugar. Fíjate que me ha tocado jugar en altura, me ha jugado con muchísima afición y demás. La verdad que el pasto nos llegaba hasta las rodillas, imagínate.
Wow.
Entonces estaba larguísimo, pesadísimo. Veníamos de estar en Miami, si no me equivoco. No, la verdad que el clima, el pasto, la afición, se nos vino todo encima. Íbamos bien relajados y como ves, no creo que por jugador éramos mejores, pero no se juega eso, se juega el partido y Guatemala salió a ganar, ¿no? Que eso es lo que ellos querían y lo mostraron. Creo que fuimos muy confiados, no en ese partido, sino que en toda esa eliminatoria, ¿no? Creo que puede también quedamos fuera. Pero sí fue muy difícil jugar en Guatemala, nunca pensé que fuera así. Hemos ido a jugar a Honduras y todo, pero Guatemala fue muy difícil. La afición siempre se metió, siempre estuvo ahí al tanto. El pasto, las condiciones de eso, Guatemala salió, te corrió todo. Pescadita también, que Pescadita no, sí, Pescadita está viejo, pero no, te clavó uno ahí. Entonces sí, no, me llevo eso de allí, ¿no? Te tiraban de todo. Bonita afición, la verdad.
Por supuesto. ¿Y qué les dijo Klinsmann después de ese partido? Porque el segundo partido que se jugó acá, ni hay que hablar de eso, pero ¿qué les dijo Klinsmann después de esa derrota que me imagino que les sorprendió a ustedes también?
Claro, no, creo que nada, que tenemos que trabajar, que no somos mejor que nadie, tenemos que jugar los partidos. Sí, está bien, somos favoritos y todo, pero los partidos se juegan, no nomás llega y ganar, ¿no? Y que la revancha, ¿no? Que lo bonito del fútbol es que hay otro partido, ¿no? En un mes o X, ¿no? Entonces tiene que preparar uno bien, tiene que estar uno bien mentalmente de que no, las cosas no son dadas, se tienen que trabajar. Y entonces creo que después del campamento nos preparamos un poco mejor y se vieron los resultados, ¿no?
De acuerdo. Y obviamente ahorita con la nueva selección, muchos jóvenes jugando en buenos equipos. Y ya se está diciendo que ese equipo que todos los jóvenes, este es el primer equipo, que no sé qué, para mí no debe ser así para Estados Unidos. Pero en tu opinión, Michael, ¿cómo ves a esta nueva selección de Estados Unidos con Berhalter?
De puros jóvenes, me dices que...
Ajá. Sí.
No, para mí tiene que ser mixto, ¿no? Creo que tienen que respetar las jerarquías de los jugadores.
Sí.
Tienes jugadores de alto calibre todavía que todavía te aguantan, te corren, y la experiencia juega mucho, ¿no? Hay muchas selecciones en todo el mundo de que siguen con su... ¿no? Creo que aquí lo que importa es el país entero en lo que representas, ¿no? Y por tener muy jóvenes, no creo que vas a tener a más gente o más followers o vas a ganar partidos, ¿no? Porque necesitas la experiencia, ¿no? Y lo has visto en todo el mundo. Para mí tiene que ser 50 y 50, o el mejor jugador que esté en ese momento tiene que ser el llamado, ¿no? No tiene que ser porque favorito, que hermano, que primo, conocido, no, tiene que ser el favorito. Y creo que Klinsmann dejó esa huella, ¿no? Y a mucha gente no le pareció de que el que estaba jugando en otras ligas y jugar cada 15 días, cada semana, perdón, en alto rendimiento, iba a ser llamado. Entonces, no le importó si eras alemán americano, irlandés americano, México americano, no le importaba nada. Si tú jugabas en cualquier liga que era superior a la MLS o banca de la MLS, no ibas a ser llamado. Tenías que estar en buenos equipos. Y por eso también la selección, cuando yo la tenía, le ganó a todos los equipos, le puedo ganar. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Sí.
Entonces, para mí tiene que ser 50-50, tienen que respetar la jerarquía de los jugadores que han tenido un nombre dentro de la selección bien puesto, ¿no? Bradley, Altidore, todos esa generación que todavía pueden jugar y competir y darle esa experiencia, esos mentors a todos los jugadores, ¿no? Porque hoy en día social media se ve que juegas bien, pero cuando llegan los fracasos fuertes, ahí...
Sí, y también jugar en Centroamérica, porque esos jóvenes no saben ni idea cómo es jugar en el Caribe, cómo es jugar en Honduras, en Guatemala. Por supuesto. Y también, si nos puedes contar, ¿quién ha sido el mejor jugador que te has enfrentado?
¿El mejor jugador?
Sí.
Uy, pues puede ser el Cuau Cabañas, el Torboso, te ha comentado Vicente Sánchez, man, ese agarró el balón, media cancha, me tiró como 30 bicicletas, recortes otros 50 y me enloqueció, la verdad, me rompió toda la cadera, y después platicamos ahí un poco, ¿no? Nos rimos un poco ahí, me prestó su playera, después nos fuimos cuando jugaba en el Philadelphia y él en Colorado, sobre de esa jugada y todo lo que había pasado en México, ¿no? Pero creo que ese jugador te cambiaba mucho el fútbol, ¿no? Y en ese momento tengo la foto de esa jugada y son como 30 fotos, imagínate, así secuentemente, porque sí, no, me volvió loco.
Ajá. Por supuesto. Y ahorita hablando de tu equipo actual con Orange County, donde resides y donde naciste, si no estoy mal, ¿cómo te sientes ahorita jugando en la USL?
Fíjate, cuando yo llegué pensé que la liga iba a ser un poco, no voy a decir mala, pero no a la altura de las ligas que yo he jugado, ¿no? Con la liga mexicana, la MLS. Me agarró de sorpresa, la verdad, te voy a decir, porque la liga, hay mucho jugador que puede jugar en la MLS o en cualquier otra liga, ¿no? Porque son buenos y son físicamente rápidos, físicamente fuertes, todo eso, ¿no? Pero creo que mucha gente no le toma mucha importancia a esta liga. Pero sí, la verdad, me gusta estar aquí, ser un pilar, ¿no? del equipo, un referente, el poder ayudar a los jóvenes, que aquí hay un equipo profesional en su ciudad que le hace caso a todos los jóvenes, que tengan esa oportunidad de que algún día pueden cumplir su sueño, ¿no? Porque creo que yo cuando me fui a México no había casi nada, nomás sabía lo que era el Galaxy, y después se formó Chivas USA, pero era difícil, entonces no tienes que ir a la escuela, y ahorita lo están agarrando en el Orange County jugadores de 14, 15 años, incluso unos ya los vendieron a Rangers, ¿no? Entonces es muy bonito, ¿no? Tener esta experiencia y ayudarles, ¿no? Yo lo que siempre digo es que una palabra, ¿no? Se les quede marcada de lo que yo les diga, eso me va a quedar como que satisfecho, ¿no? De darles ese aliento, de dar esos tips, ¿no? No son 100% garantizados, no les estoy diciendo que me crean, pero que les quede algo en su corazón o en su huella, ¿no? Los marque.
De acuerdo. ¿Y cómo ha sido jugar durante esta pandemia sin afición, con estos exámenes y me imagino que una nueva ilusión también para ustedes como Orange County?
Sí, es muy difícil, la verdad, porque te acostumbras a jugar con afición, ¿no? Porque ese es lo bonito del fútbol, que gente te diga de cosas, ¿no? No, que eres malo, que el equipo va a perder, burro, ya ves como los latinos son, o sea, muchísimas cosas, y tener esa presión te motiva, y no tener a nadie gritar, escuchar todo, se te hace como un entrenamiento y pierdes un poco el sabor del fútbol, ¿no? La concentración, porque todo eso juega en parte, y creo que para mí es una chispa más, ¿no? Para el fútbol, ¿no?
De acuerdo. ¿Quién es el más chistoso y el más tímido dentro del camerino de Orange County?
Uy, pues creo que ya cambiamos a todos los jugadores, ¿no? Pero en su momento creo que el Darwin Jones, muy chistoso, sí. Entonces sí, él es un payaso, man.
De acuerdo. El jugador que tiene el best y worst fashion del camerino de Orange County.
Oh, man. Worst fashion, a ver. Sí, se llama Steph, que se pone malísimo se viste ese man. Yo pensé que ya no existían los pantalones de pata de elefante, man, todo like rockers, así todo skinny, luego abajo bien grande, nada. Ni mi papá usa eso, le dije. Y ser fly, no sé, Hugo y yo, man, me gusta, digo, nomás en los tenis en sí, nada más te pones uno más limpio y ya, listo, man.
Por supuesto.
So, yeah.
Y obviamente, Michael, nos dijiste que quieres jugar como 4 o 5 años más, pero ¿has pensado en que el después del fútbol o todavía no?
Sí, fíjate que me he estado preparando, no desde ahorita ya varios años, no preparando. Ahorita tengo una academia, estoy en eso, me gusta estar con los muchachos, niñas, niños, enseñarles un poco, y sí, quiero ser entrenador, ¿no? Creo que me estoy preparando para eso, estoy aprendiendo de toda esta gente que fueron mis entrenadores, porque de todo se aprende, ¿no? Todos los días estoy aprendiendo algo nuevo, ¿no? No es nada más de ver videos y eso, sino de lo que yo he aprendido viendo los entrenamientos o haciéndolos, y seguir teniendo ese contacto con los entrenadores de alto nivel, ¿no? Por lo que es México, tienes entrenadores de Argentina, de Chile, de todos lados, ¿no? Y obviamente de acá Estados Unidos, de todos los que me han tocado, ahí tener esa comunicación creo que es bueno.
Para finalizar la entrevista, Michael, de verdad te agradezco por tu tiempo. Fue un gusto y honor entrevistarte. Te deseo lo mejor en esta nueva temporada con Orange County. Bendiciones para ti y para tu familia, y posiblemente te podemos volver a jugar en la MLS. Entonces, como te dije, muchas gracias por tu tiempo y bendiciones para ti y a tu familia.
No, muchas gracias por la invitación. Espero esta no sea la primera ni la última vez. Aquí está tu amigo Michael Orozco para cualquier cosa que te ofrezca. Y sí, ojalá que algún día pueda jugar en MLS otra vez, o si no me toca como jugador, como entrenador. Igual humildemente siempre trabajando todos los días. Entonces, como digo yo, hard work pays off. Hay que darle.
Muchas gracias por ver mi entrevista. A toda la gente del mundo que ve mis videos, muchas gracias. Si lo pueden compartir con sus familiares, se las agradecería bastante. Si se pueden suscribir y darle like a mi video, mil gracias. Y los veo hasta la próxima semana.